Hello, welcome back. We're on to, I think it's chapter 6 or section 6, whatever we want to call it now, and today we're going to look at more challenging styles of questions. I think we've just about exhausted the easier, lower tariff ones, and the ones that we're going to look at from now onwards will require a kind of slightly different way of thinking. The first example that I want to show you is a 3-mark question. And very often they follow a really similar pattern: explain one or describe one. And on this page here, you've got 2 examples of exactly the same style of question. You have explain one way in which topography affects economic development, and then over here you've got explain one disadvantage of top-down development strategies. They both carry 3 marks. Now, if we unpick this one, explain one disadvantage of a top-down development strategy is obviously asking you to think about one negative point of that. And if you can remember what top-down strategies are, they're things like building dams, infrastructure projects, roads, etc. So I'm a firm believer in keep your idea simple. You've got to start with an original idea. So the obvious disadvantage of a top-down development strategy is going to be the high level of cost. These projects can run into millions, if not billions of pounds. Now, for 3 marks, you're really only going to get 1 mark for that response. You have come up with an idea. Okay, what you've then got to do is develop that idea and expand upon that idea and explain it further. Now, if we go back to the initial idea of high level of cost, kind of think it through. So what? What does this mean? Why is that a problem? Because you've got a lot of money being spent on this one development project, it then means for your kind of expansion that money is not being spent elsewhere on projects such as health or projects such as education. This could then lead to a lowering in standards of living or a lack of increase in inequality. So it's almost like you start with your idea. You've then got to explain it, and that's then the last link in the chain is then expanding it further. Okay, so you're almost sort of thinking, so what, to get your 3 marks. This one up here, although it's the same style of question, in that we've got to explain one way in which topography affects economic development, we've got to go through the same process. The wording is quite difficult, and a top tip for questions like this one will be, now if I don't know what topography means, and I can't remember, it's actually the height and shape of the land, I do know, or I should know, what economic development means. Okay, so if you're ever unclear about a particular word or phrase, have a good educated guess by looking around it and find something you do know. Economic development, well, it's either going to be positive or negative, isn't it? You may not get 3 for that strategy, but at least you'll pick up something. There are other styles of these. So the last one I want to show you here is on page 23, okay? We've got explain why the rapid growth of megacities, shown in figure 7, may cause social challenges. Okay, now the question has previously been about the growth of megacities. We've got what would appear to be an idea, explain further. So you could approach it one way, okay? You could approach it that way, or, because it doesn't specify one, it just says explain why. Rapid growth may cause social challenges. So you could actually, I suppose, come up with 3 separate ideas. You could come up with one idea that you've explained well, and then another idea. It does link in a resource, and as always with this exam board, if they've even mentioned or smelt the mere sign or hinted at some kind of resource, I would use the information in there. Social is obviously people, and challenges just means problems. It's just a fancy way of saying, how is the rapid growth of these cities going to cause people problems? Again, keep it simple. Lots of people in a megacity, what kind of problems? Overcrowding, shortage of space, lack of housing, etc. Okay, just watch that one, I think is the message. If it said explain one way or one reason, then obviously I'd have to go to that previous structure. Idea, explain, explain. Okay?